dance routines.
Sorry, I should have I should have hit record a long time ago.
Oh.
I just because I wanted to catch what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I started aerobic dance when I was 48. We did a floor work and then we would go into our dance routines. And I did that for 12 years. And then that kind of petered out. So we started, my youngest daughter wanted me to hire a trainer together, which we did. And we started lifting weights and working out at the gym. We didn't even have a gym here in O'Fallon at that time. And we were driving into Chesterfield, into St. Louis. And so anyway, I got started working out like that. And eventually it just seemed like a habit, something I feel like I have to do. So now I still go to the gym twice a week, and I go Monday and Wednesday, and I line dance Friday. I was line dancing this morning for an hour. So it's just, I don't know, and I'm just busy, I'll go out and work hard.
I wrote down your routine down here, and I've known that routine for like 4 years. I didn't even ask you. I already know it.
Yeah.
And I told one of my clients that I bet you $10,000 that my grandma, if I call her right now, she won't answer because she's at the gym. And then I also told the same person, there's plenty of people that I would not bet on. Right. I would even bet against them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would tell them that. And I think that hurts. But you know what? You either do or you don't.
Right.
The day is gone. Right. So I didn't know you to be like a healthy person. I just knew that you were, you always had, like, not that you weren't healthy or unhealthy. You were grandma, right? But you had these books. You were always kind of interested in like nutrition a bit, or like supplements, and because you had to take care of grandpa too. Grandpa wasn't the bill of health, so you had to be a leader, right? So and here you are, 30 years beyond that, still kicking,
waiting on him. He's living downstairs. We have a split fire, so I'm up and down the steps with his food. I'm the dumb waiter. But I still drive. People say, you still drive? And I said, well, of course. What would I do if we, it's just things that seem like they come natural to me. And like getting up out of a chair, I make sure I try not to use my hands at all. When I in church, instead of grabbing onto the front pew, I make an effort to just lift myself to keep my legs strong.
Isn't that like if you told somebody who is trying to be healthier, well, don't use your hands when you stand up out of a chair, it might make them think, but if they do it one time, that didn't do much for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's everything that you do, right? So this is I think this is just a start. I think you'll probably end up joining every week when we do this, because there's plenty that we can discuss. But I want to spotlight Sue for a second here, because we asked her in a client celebration call, what's next? What does your journey look like? What do you want to achieve? And she said, I just want to make sure that I age well, something along those lines. And I know she's looking at you thinking, that's what I could be for sure. And I tell my clients that, somebody like Sue, you have a big time head start on Grandma Button. And because you didn't start getting into your nervous system and your strength and your power until you were 60.
Right.
I mean, you were working and moving and holding kids and stuff like that, but you weren't putting that like scientific demand on your body. And that's what Sue is going through. So that's like when my clients know that you started at 60, they're like, oh I'm doing good. I'm doing good because 45, 50, 40. So Sue, like, what's your perspective on this?
Well, firstly, I would say, Grandma Button, you're an inspiration, and it goes to show it's never too late to, get healthy, right, and be strong. And just, you're right. I mean, when I started the program with you, Evan, I was just feeling like crap, really, if that's the proper word to say, but just physically, mentally, and now I just, I didn't think I would, from a how long am I going to live perspective, I certainly wasn't thinking that I could go past 90. So you're an inspiration, but through this program, I actually feel like I could do another, 40, 50 years.
Sure.
And just seeing also Marcus, you're 59 and you look like you're in the early 40s. So I think you look amazing. And I'm just going to introduce my husband over here because he's also a bit of an inspiration. This is Sam.
Sure.
He's
Hey, Sam.
and he's always telling me that he likes to be healthy. And so I used to always look at him and go, I feel like I'm probably 20 years older than he is physically, because he's really into that. So yeah, so what you're saying is true. My goal is to keep going, and I'd like to be very strong and vital for my daughter who's 12, right? So I mean, Sam and I are older parents, so we want to be strong and make sure that we can be as just fit and, with Sienna as she, grows into her life, right? So
Yeah.
Just keep up your nutrition and vitamins and exercise. I think is the key, and to stay strong. Like I read where when older people, the main thing is they lose strength in their legs and they, it's just their downfall,
And their core, the connection to the ground. Then when you get up off that pew using your legs, you're actually using your core. Your core initiates it, and then you put force into the ground, but you got to have your legs to generate force too.
I've got this little stool that's about 9 inches tall, and I sit down on that and get up without using my hands. I just use my legs, like you say, in my core. And I'll do that 6 to 8 times. Just, I try to do it maybe every other day. Here at home, I'll do stuff, and just
because
to make sure.
if you don't now, it's going to be a more accelerated downfall.
Oh, sure.
All it takes is one moment where you can't get up, and that's where you, right? So you're just keeping yourself going.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you mentioned vitamins and nutrition. So I'm just going to finish this baby off right here because I think it's important for Sue and Marcus to see this, and Andrew and Kriska if they're interested, and I think Desi's on too. So this program is encompassing, and my goal as a leader for Sue and Marcus is to get them integrated. It's the word is the client fully integrated. It's not, are they eating the nutritionally interchangeable fuelings that are so convenient and we send them to their front door. That's what people think this is. You just get some food and eat it. But as we're doing these community calls, there's power behind that. So that's a component, to feel the power from other people. If it was just me and a person, which it has been for 5 years, plus some of the culture in the gyms I was working in, if it's just you and that person, you got to really bring it as a coach. But in these community calls, you can see and feel this thing is growing. So that has its power. There's a coach that comes with it, which, the coach has a bunch of support too. It's not like the coach knows everything, but they're guiding you into this feeling of feeling different, consciously making choices, able to be competent in your skill set. When you're going out to eat, what do you order and why, and these sorts of things. But not only that, what did we learn from our perceived failure? I'll get it all the time. Yeah, I fell off the wagon. Okay, what do you mean by that? And what did we learn? What would you have done differently? So you essentially get a partner in your journey of change. And that's a big component of this. And then this guy, Dr. Anderson, who created this program, who's literally just a dad and a doctor. He's a big time doctor in the US, still is, but now he's getting on the front side of health because he said he was keeping a few people alive. And he said every single one of the diseases that he saw were because of a poor lifestyle. So he created a program and developed this over time, and it's changed drastically, and literally just came to Singapore and Hong Kong in 2019. And I don't think hardly anybody knows about it over here. In the US, they don't even advertise it. There's millions of people who've never heard of this, but it's been going on for 20 years. The advertisement is the coach and the people who are changing, and Sue and Marcus in these moments. It's giving people a chance to develop something. So he wrote a book that helps it too. So like if somebody asks me about hydration, I can guide them into the book so they can become their own dominating force awareness instead of me just saying, oh, drink water because it's good for you. There's some education behind that, and then you just subconsciously start making more choices. That's why people are changing on drastic levels. So that's what this program is. I finished that off because Andrew and Chris are here, and Sam, just so you guys know what's going on. This isn't like, here, Sue, eat this. This is, here, Sue, have this because you got meetings back to back to back to back to back, and you're hustling here and there. What else are you going to eat? You can't. You're going to stop at 7-Eleven and get some like sugar, like beef jerky if you're lucky. If it, you know what I mean? Like, so the fact that these fuelings have just the right amount of protein, all the micronutrients that you need, vitamins and minerals, probiotics, and just the right amount of fiber to get you to that rhythm of small and frequent. And then the one meal that we teach you guys how to make, it's been such a great tool for me as a coach to just get this in front of people. Because now when they're coming to me, it's pretty much a prerequisite that they go through this system, and then we're training. Because to train somebody who has inflammation levels, coming in with 4 skills in choice making, relying on me to help them lose body fat constantly, and we're going nowhere if they're not aware of their choices outside, is just not the way I want to spend my life. So this is giving me a chance to accelerate progress, while when they come to the gym, then we put demand on the body through tension. It's good for your bones, it's good for your skeletal muscle, it's good for your nervous system, it's good for your hormones. None of that has to do with this, but they come together very nicely. So that's pretty much just beyond 30 minutes. And this is for Sue and Marcus. You know, you guys have drastically changed. There's thousands and thousands of people out there who feel like you did, Marcus and Sue. So how do we bring some awareness? And we call it living out loud. You know, make a statement. You know, this is what I'm doing, and this is how I'm feeling, and I'm pretty excited about it. Whatever way you kind of want to say it. And it's typically through, let's say, social media. Thank God it's free. Like for me, I don't know if I would actually use it that much if I didn't have a business, but I do, so I have to use it, right? But if we want to share this, which I think ought to be shared, that's a great way to do it. Make sure you guys stay in touch with me. Of course, you know, this is for other people who don't train with me as much. You guys train with me 3 times a week, so we get to talk. But those conversations throughout the week are big time reminders. Just refocus, refocus, refocus. If you can refocus every week, you're moving forward. Yeah, and then maybe next week, you know, try to bring somebody to this meeting. Again, you know, thank you for inviting Andrew and Kriska. Thank you guys for joining. Now you just have now you know what Sue's going through, and it's just a seed. Plant the seed there, it's there. If you ever want to change, this is the platform for that. And then your training would be better, Andrew. You would be more sensitive to you'd be more sensitive to your muscle, and it just gets more fun. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy the food that you like maybe you'll just have a slight different understanding of it, you know, and then however far you want to take it. I can tell you got some good muscle mass. How far do you want to take it, right? And then above that, when you become a leader, and Graham, I'll let you finish off this point because you mentioned about the aerobics, being a coach.
Yeah.
For that aerobics, you had to be a certain way, right? But when you become a leader, you have a much higher chance. We say 5 times, it's just a lot more chance at becoming something more special, presenting more interest in your like badassness, right? You become this different version because you got pushed. You got people push you because you can't say, yeah, you need to go to bed at 10 o'clock, or like, wouldn't be that strict, but let's try to go to bed a bit earlier, and then you stay up and watch Netflix until midnight. You can't be a hypocrite as a leader, and this keeps you honest, right? So that, you know, and this is how this program is developing, because people come on board as a leader, and then the mentoring and helping them develop as a leader has a gravitation as well. It's exactly why I'm here. You know, I have my coaches in the US, and they help me develop in my business, in my understanding, of myself, and I've definitely taken tips on how to stay leaner, and get away with other things. So this is what it is, guys. Is there any questions? Like, does this spark any questions or interest? Or Kriska, you look like you're at least absorbing some of that. Yeah, you have a lot of questions.
About Sue's program, like I see always like she does look like she's feeling much better. Last year, I mean, like always talks about it to us as well, how much she incorporated a lot of different.
Hey, Kriska, can you talk closer to the microphone? Can't hear. Sorry, can you try it again?
Yeah, I'm just saying that I have been asking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Yeah, I've been asking Andrew about your program because I've been seeing really effects about how happy you are now. Like, and I also see you now go for your walks every day. So it's really been consistent, and I feel like it's something really that's been lacking with me. And now I'm just realizing that it's really about all the mindset and getting to know why you're doing this for, so that you can really push yourself to go through all of these sacrifices. I did ask you, like, did you feel like it's a lot of sacrifice from your end to go through this program? And you did say not really, it wasn't really hard. And I feel like it's because you really had that change in mindset. So you didn't see it as a sacrifice, it's actually more incorporated into your lifestyle. So I admire a lot of that, and I really like to explore how I can get into the same kind of mindset and lifestyle as well.
Man, amazing. Thank you so much for making that point and question, because that's the whole purpose of this. It actually just gives people hope for maybe something different, like a different life. You know, not that your life isn't the way you want it, but it's evolution. We need to evolve forward, right? So the way to do that is you and I can have a separate conversation about that exactly. And, 15 to 20 minutes, just kind of digging into what this, inspiration that you have from Sue, and just see what's possible. And then how, I'm the plan maker, but essentially, getting you involved in this program would definitely allow you to explore a different look and potentially different mindset as you move forward, and tapping into the cell. Like if we're holding on to more water than is necessary, just a little more body fat, it's not like it definitely involves weight loss and fat loss, and that's exciting. But to feel lighter and more excited about waking up and going for a walk is a big deal. And then from there, we just got to find out what your, motivation is, and the purpose to try. And just a slight change makes a big difference. But that slight change is just something that we are making sure is happening daily, and not 4 days go by. So that's what a coach is for. So I can get your number from Sue, and we can have a separate conversation. We can set that up easily. Anyone else here have a point to make or question?
Very good.
No, I would probably just say, no, thank you to Andrew and Kriska and Sam for joining.
Yeah.
Because they've been part of my journey, or they've seen me go through the journey, and I don't know if I've been able to explain, as well as thank you for Kriska for making those observations and saying that, because I feel like they've been part of it. I've tried to show through what I've been doing daily as a way to explain how I do it. It's nice for them to hear it from you, Evan.
That's awesome. What a great way to say it. Like, honestly, when I first heard that community is important, I'm like, yeah. I've heard that before. Like, I can do this. But the power that what Sue just said, I was trying to show you what I was doing by my actions, essentially. That is like, I don't know how I could have done that differently other than having this system. So that is power. Like, I know I have this power in my hands now, plus the ability that I have with being a strength and conditioning coach. That helps. But you don't need to have those skills. All you need to be is just interested in a human and care about their purpose. what they really want for themselves. So this gives a opportunity on different levels beyond. So Kriska, I'll get your phone number and we'll have a chat. Marcus, thanks for joining, sharing. Sam, nice to meet you.
Hey, Evan,
Desi,
I got one more thing actually.
yeah, sure.
Is
sure.
how did you motivate people when they wanted to change first, but then they were like, I'm lazy. Let's do it tomorrow. Let's train tomorrow. Well, let's go for a walk tomorrow. How did you change their mindset to change and push them?
That's a good question. So
I've done this like many times though, like my friends and stuff, and they're like, I'm lazy. It's just train tomorrow. It's fine.
well, that's a good question. So a healthy surrounding is crucial for stability in advancement. So if you're surrounding yourself with guys who aren't necessarily as driven as you, it's almost like aiming to get smarter and asking people who are like lower than you on the totem pole for advice, right? Yep. So how do I advance people in their motivation? People already come to me with at least a 7 out of 10 motivation. I'll tell them, if it's not 7 out of 10, you're not ready to work with me. Mm-hmm. And we're definitely not training together. You can't, I'll run over you. And actually I'll ask you to leave, and I actually told some of my friends that before, don't come with me to the gym, you'll slow me down. And I think they're like, oh, that hurt, but it's my time to shine, right? So it's not actually your job to motivate them. I think it's just if you are, you're their friend and you care, it's up to them to come along at their own discretion.
It's for me the same thing. I think we talked about it, right? It means once they see the example, and in my company where I'm working, the guys, some come to you and say, hey, what have you done? So you look great, or whatever is the comment. But you cannot change everybody's life. It's only that the ones who are coming to you, you realize that they're interested in, there you can put your effort in and explain this in details, and they will be animated in time because it's the right time for them to go ahead and finding themselves in a position where they finally maybe say, this I want to. Marcus, what can I do? How should I do it? And the one who is answering always, I'm lazy, I cannot, he's maybe not ready yet till a moment comes in time where could be in a barbecue somewhere when you meet him again, or some weeks later he will ask and say, hey, well, what is it? And you slowly educate, adjust, and hope that he make his own switch, and from there you can help him very well.
So a way, if these people that you're thinking about, I'm sure you could name 3 of them by name, first and last, right? This is the place to put it on somebody else's plate. I wouldn't say put that on your shoulders and hope that you can motivate them to do something that you would like for them to do. But if there's a space for them to hear what's possible, that would be the chance for you to motivate them. And it's tough. It's tough if you're looking for that good training partner. They're hard to find. But maybe that's what I can create for someone like you. If you're looking for a space to come train, I have it. It's just a matter of timing and these sorts of things. But that's a good question. I don't put too much energy into motivating people anymore. I just let them know that I care and that I'm that much ahead of them in their caring process. And a big motivator for them is the numbers. So when they see, I do caliper testing. So when they see that their overall sum of the pinches, like, in your chin, your cheek, all the way down your body, is going and moving at a pace which I think is required for just good consistency, and they see that it's not, then they make a change because they're because they were ready for it. And as a leader, I got to remember the things that they said. I know why Sue came to me. I know why Marcus came to me. I remember the conversation. And this is skills that I've built up over time. but you just got to make them think. Doesn't mean you got to be the one to make them change. You just got to make them think just a little bit if they're coming to you for that help. You know, if they're not coming to you for that help, then you can't put it on them. Otherwise, it's just, you know, don't waste your energy on it. Just be like Sue, be the leader. Keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up. And then when you go to that barbecue, they go, damn, you know, what have you been doing? Staying consistent with the same thing that I wish that you would. How's your sausage? I'm having chicken breast. You know, right? Right?
Yeah.
That's how you do it. And that's because, and exactly what Marcus said, there's going to be plenty of people that say, oh, you know, Andrew won't eat that. He's a healthy guy. Well, does that mean that you're unhealthy? Like, what are you trying to say? How are you trying to categorize me? Does that make you feel better? Are you okay with yourself? You know, I'm just trying to be badass, like, and love my life. What time did you wake up this morning? Oh, you know, it was a late night last night, and you know, the weekend, and pretty much you just wasted a day, is what you're trying to tell me. Like, that would be somebody who you don't associate with more than the once a month catch up, you know what I mean? So it's tough, man. It's tough to move forward in your health because health is not normal.
Yeah.
Most people say, yeah, you know, I want to go out with my friends and eat normal food. And so then we look at the menu and I say, well, what would you order? Well, sashimi. I said, well, that's not normal food. It's funny how you categorize normal food as like unhealthy, you know, like, how do you care to feel? And then, you know, some people forget why they started. Like, can you tell me why you started this in the first place? Yeah, I know what to do. And actually, when people say I know what to do and they don't do it, it's bull crap. Because if you knew what to do, you would do it better, right? You would try. And there's a quote: knowing what to do and not doing it is not knowing. The guy who wrote the 7 Healthy Habits of Successful People, Stephen Covey, said that, something like that. It's to know and not to do is not to know. Just like if you coach a young baseball player, hey, you know, when you get in the box like this and he says, I know. Well, why didn't you do it? Because you don't know. Because you don't know. And does a 12-year-old know how to manage his emotions? Probably not. Does a 48-year-old know how to manage their emotions? Much better. It takes time and skill development. But if you're trying and your body isn't shifting, you lose motivation. So the fact that this program allows people to go, it's a key. You plug it in, and because you start to feel different, and your clothes start to feel different, and people notice, like, dude, your skin, like, what are you doing for your skin? Wouldn't you like to know? I tried to tell you 10 times already. And it's not kombucha tea, and it's not all the lotion that I put on my face. It's because I'm shining from within, and I care about my sleep, and I care about hydration, and I care about every moment. So people need stability to understand how to make choices. Otherwise, it's like, oh, I heard this was good. Keto's good. Well, then I fasted, and then, you know, now I'm vegan. Now I'm this. I heard this. Is this good? The same old conversations have disappeared, and now we're talking about how did you overcome that moment when somebody said to you, wow, you look skinny, are you okay? You know, Marcus is stable as can be, so we're able to talk about that. Another gentleman I had, he could not accept the fact that people were asking what he was doing. He couldn't accept success. He didn't know how. And that is because he's, I would say, not in tune with his emotional side. You know, he's protecting himself. I'm a tough guy, you know, but now he's opening up. And a guy who was 89, just constantly 89 kg, 30% body fat, like, how can I get you to shift? The same old conversation. Now his body fat is closer to like 26, 25. He's not excellent, but he's shifting. But his weight is about 78. That's 11 kgs of dirty weight, just completely reset while we're working on his mind still. And but I'm not going to give him all my energy. I only just am a step ahead of him, and he keeps showing up. So that was a long-winded answer, but now, you know, I had the table, so I ran it. But yeah, I mean, this is super. You know, I would love to meet you guys in person. My objective is to have these every Saturday, and then one Saturday, maybe a month, have like a little gathering barbecue at my gym. You know, just get out of the house or something to do instead of going to the same old breakfast place like we do. You know, go to it, get some people together and just have some fun. But you know, we try to keep, I want to keep these 30 minutes, but when it's a smaller, intimate group, then we can kind of freestyle. So I see the French bulldog back there, Sam. You're petting him like a baby.
Like Kobe.
Kirby?
Hey, his name is Heavy.
Kobe, like Kobe Bryant.
Oh, okay. Hey, Kobe. Well, I'm just gonna wrap it up. I really appreciate you guys. Honestly, I've never felt so confident in my life, and it's because so many moments are happening. So many good moments are happening in my life, and a lot of it has to do with the implementation of this program from August last year. So we'll see you next week.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you guys. Have a great day. Grandma, thank you so much. I
See
love you.
everybody.
Thank you. Love
right.
you too. Good night.
All right. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.